Morning, students. In yesterday's class, we discussed about the working of a Bell-Coleman refrigerator or a refrigerator working on Bell-Coleman cycle. And one worker example we solved in the next phase problem on the Bell-Coleman cycle. Today, the remaining problems we will discuss about the remaining problems working on Bell-Coleman cycle. I will remind you again, what is the Bell-Coleman cycle? What are the processes involved in the Bell-Coleman cycle? A Bell-Coleman cycle is the reversal Brayton or Joule cycle. A refrigerator generally works on the Bell-Coleman cycle. It is having 4 processes, 2 isentropic process and 2 constant pressure process. This cycle works between 2 pressure limits. 2 isentropic processes are isentropic compression and isentropic expansion. And to constant pressure process, during this constant pressure process, heat rejection and heat absorption by the side. This is the Bell-Coleman cycle. The slide shows that PV diagram and TS diagram of Bell-Coleman cycle for the example 1. And let us go for this example 2 now. A refrigerator working on Bell-Coleman cycle operates between pressure limits of 1.05 bars and 8.5 bars. The low pressure is 1.05 and high pressure is 8.5 bars. Air is drawn from the cold chamber at 10 degrees centigrade. The cold chamber is maintained at 10 degrees centigrade, at which the compressor is drawn the air at 10 degrees centigrade. Compressed and then it is cooled to 30 degrees centigrade before entering into the expansion cylinder. The temperature before the turbine or expander after cooling process in the air cooler, the temperature of air is 30 degrees centigrade. Clear? The expansion and compression follows the law PV power 1.3 equal to constant. That means the expansion and compression are polytropic process with a polytropic index is 1.3. Determine the critical COP of the system. What is the COP of this Bell-Coleman cycle? The given data in the problem is the 2 pressures are given, low pressure and high pressure, P1 or P4, both are equally here, 1.05 bar, and P2, P3 are the highest pressure in the cycle, 8.5 bars. And T1 is the cold chamber temperature at which the compressor is drawn the air 10 degrees centigrade. Otherwise, it is 283 Kelvin absolute temperature. And the air after cooling is 30 degrees centigrade before expansion. That is taken as T3, 30 degrees centigrade or 303 Kelvins in absolute state. And the polytropic index is 1.3, that is small n equal to 1.3. This is the given data. We have to find the COP of the Bell-Coleman cycle. Here, the PV and TS diagram shown. 1, 2, as we know that polytropic compression here, not isentropic, here polytropic compression. 2 to 3 is the constant pressure heat rejection. 3 to 4 is the polytropic expansion. 4 to 1 is the constant pressure heat absorption. This is the TS diagram. The corresponding TS diagram is this. Not exactly these are vertical lines 1, 2, and 3, 4. These are the slightly inclined line because it is not isentropic, it is a polytropic. Clear? The temperature at 1 and 3 as given 283 and 303 Kelvins before expansion and before compression. Yes, students, before compression is 283 and before expansion, that is 303 Kelvins. Let us find the temperature at all the remaining points, that is at point 2 and 4. Then only we can proceed the problem. First of all, find the T2 and T4. How to find the T2? Because 1 to 2 is the polytropic compression. By applying the polytropic law, that is T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 whole power n minus 1 by n. N is the polytropic index. We know that the pressure limits between 2 and 1, 8.5 and 1.05, whole power 1.3 minus 1 by 1.3. It will be get 1.62. T2 by T1 is 1.62. Therefore, T2 equal to 1.62 into T1. T1 is given as 283. And therefore, temperature after compression, the air temperature is 458.5 Kelvins. Clear, students? First of all, we are going to find the temperatures at T2 and T4. T2 is 458.5 kelvins. Similarly, the same law is applicable for the process T4. T3 by T4 equal to P3 by P4 whole power n minus 1 by m. Clear, students? Here the P3 is equal to, the pressure at point 3 is equal to pressure at point 2, that is 8.5, and pressure at point 4 equal to pressure at point 1, that is 1.05. The same value 1.62 will get T3 by T4, and T4 equal to T3 by 1.62. T3 value is 303 is given in the problem, 303 by 1.62, 187 kelvins is the temperature at fourth point, that is the fourth state. This is the lowest temperature in the cycle at which the air is supplied to the cold chamber. Here the temperature of air rising by absorbing the heat from the cold chamber. The cold chamber is the space to be cooled. Clear, students? After heat absorption in the cold chamber, the temperature rises to T1 again. Cycle will be repeats. Then COP for the polytropic. We know that the critical COP, coefficient of performance, is T1 minus T4 by n minus 1 into gamma minus 1 by gamma into T2 minus T3 minus T1 minus T4. This is the equation we derived in the last class for the Bill-Coleman cycle if the compression and expansion follows the polytropic law. Then upon substitution of all the values in the given equation, T1 and T4, 283 minus 187 by n value 1.3 divided by 1.3 minus 1. Here gamma value is 1.4 for air, 1.4 minus 1 by 1.4. T2 as given as we calculated 458.5 minus T0, 303 is temperature given in the problem, minus T1 is the 283 is also given in the problem, and T4 we calculated as 187. Therefore, theoretical COP of the given Bell-Coleman cycle is 1.3. COP of Bell-Coleman cycle for this problem is 1.3. Clear, students? Like this, we have to find the COP, theoretical COP from the given data. Clear, students? Are you understanding? Let us go for the example 3. It will be clear from the example 3. The Bell-Coleman cycle will be clearly understood by the example 3. So let us read the problem. Example 3, an air refrigeration used for food storage provides 25 ton of refrigeration. What it means? A food storage chamber is there, that a food storage chamber uses the air refrigeration system for the capacity of 25 ton of refrigeration. The temperature of air entering the compressor is 7 again. Before compression, the temperature is T1. T1 is 7 degrees centigrade, and temperature at exit of cooler is 27. Exit of cooler means this is a 2 to 3 cooling process. At exit of cooler means T3. T3 is 27 degrees centigrade again given. Find the COP of the cycle and power required per ton of refrigeration. For 25 ton of refrigeration, we should calculate the power, how much power is required. Divided by 25, then we will get the power required per ton of refrigeration, for every ton of refrigeration. The quantity of air circulated in the system is 3000 kg per hour. The total amount of air circulated in the cycle, 3000 kg per every hour. The compression and expansion follows the law PV power 1.3. Again, the compression and expansion follows the polytropic law. Take a gamma equal to 1.4 and CP value as 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin for air. Actually, the actual value is 1.005. The 0.005 can be neglected and CP is given as 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin per air. These are the PV and TS diagram for the given Bell-Coleman cycle. T1, 1 to 2 process and 3 to 4 process are polytropic, and 2 to 3, 4 to 1 are the constant pressure process, as we know that. Let us write the given data from the problem. 25 ton of refrigeration, it is taken as Q, which is heat extraction capacity of the system. Heat extraction capacity of the system is 25 TR, 25 ton of refrigeration. T1, 7 degrees centigrade, 283 Kelvin. T3 is 27 degrees centigrade or 300 Kelvins. And mass of air circulated within the system is 3000 kg per hour. That means 50 kg per minute. By 16, we will get the 50 kg per minute for every minute. The refrigeration cycle and PV and TS diagram shown as earlier. Let us calculate the COP of the cycle. first of all. To find the COP of the cycle, we should know the temperatures at each point of the cycle, at each state of the cycle. Let T2 and T3 or T4 or temperature of air at the end of the compression and at the end of the expansion respectively. And expansion respectively. Since the capacity of the refrigerator is 25 ton of refrigeration as given in the problem, Q equal to 25 ton. If it is converted kilojoules per minute, 25 into 210, because for every ton of refrigeration, 210 kilojoules per minute. Therefore, 25 ton of refrigeration multiplied by 210. Therefore, we will get the 5,250 kilojoules per minute. That is the heat extraction capacity of the system from the cold storage chamber is 5,250 kilojoules of heat can be extracted for every minute. Also, the heat extraction from the refrigerator, MCP into T1 minus T4 is the equation or formula from the TS diagram or PV diagram. That is from the cycle, because 4 to 1 is the refrigeration effect process, heat extraction process. So MCP into delta T is also can be used for heat extraction. So mass of air circulated is 50 kg per minute and CP is 1 kilojoules per minute, 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, and T1 is given as 280 kelvins and T4 we don't know the T4. So 15 to 280 minus T4 kilojoules per minute of heat can be extracted by the system for every minute. Therefore, we can equate these two from the equation 1 and 2. 15 to 280 minus T4 equal to 5,250. It is kilojoules per minute. It is also kilojoules per minute. By equating these two, we will get the T4 value, because this is also heat extraction capacity of the cycle. This is also heat extraction capacity of the cycle. It is the theoretical one. It is the practical or actual one. Therefore, by equating these two values, we will get the T4 value. T4 temperature. That is the temperature at 0.4 after expansion. So T4 is 175 kelvins. From the above equation, we will get the T4 value as 175 kelvins. And we know that T3 by T4. T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 whole 4 n minus 1 by n, or P2 by P1 whole 4 n minus 1 by n, because P3 equal to P2 and P4 also equal to P1. The compression and expansions of polytropic, that's why we are using n minus 1 by n. Therefore, T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 whole 4 n minus 1 by n. From these two equations, equation 3 and 4, the right-hand side equations are values are equal. Then by equating the left-hand side values, that is T2 by T1 equal to T3 by T4, or T2 is equal to, from this we can calculate it as 480 Kelvin, because all the remaining temperatures are known values. T2 is 480 kelvins from this formula. So after calculating all the temperatures at each state of the cycle, then we can find the COP of the cycle. COP of the cycle for the polytropic compression and expansion. This is the formula we derived in the last class. Clear, students? T1 minus T4 by n by n minus 1 into gamma minus 1 by gamma into T2 minus T3 minus T1 minus T4. This is the formula we derived in the last class. Once again, go through this formula. Upon substitution of all the values into this equation, then we will get the COP of the Bell-Coleman cycle as 1.13. 1.13. Clear, students? Then power required per ton of refrigeration, he asked. We know that the heat absorption during the constant pressure process 4-1 MCP T1 minus T4. This is the heat extraction capacity or heat absorbed by the cycle. Therefore, 15 to 1 into 280 minus 175 is the T4 we calculated earlier. Therefore, 5250 kilojoules per minute is the heat extraction capacity of the system. Clear, students? Otherwise, 25 ton of refrigeration given, 25 into 210, also we will get 5,250 kilojoules per minute. This is the refrigeration effect of the cycle. And work done per minute. Work done per minute, as we know that COP value, COP formula, heat extraction or heat absorbed or refrigeration effect divided by work done per minute. Otherwise, work done per minute is equal to heat absorbed by COP. Heat absorbed is 5250 divided by COP is 1.13. We will get 4646 kilojoules per minute of work per minute should be used to develop 25 ton of refrigeration. Clear, students? This is the work done given to the system for every minute. If we convert into the kilowatts, then we will get the power per ton of refrigeration. We will know that 4646 divided by 60, then we will get in kilowatts. Power required for 25 ton of refrigeration is 4646 by 60. For every one ton of refrigeration divided by 25, because the system capacity is 25 tons. For every 1 ton of refrigeration, we require 3.1 kilowatts of power required for every ton. Clear, students? Here asked power required per ton of refrigeration. That's why we are dividing by 25. We will get the power required to the system for every ton of refrigeration, 3.1 kilowatts. Clear, students? This is the example 3. Like this, you have to find the asked parameters. This is the example 4. Example 4. It is related to the dense air refrigeration system. Dense air means a closed air refrigeration system. Whatever the cycle, it is dense air or closed air. Otherwise, it's open air, both operating on the Bell-Coleman cycle itself. Here, the example 4 is a dense air refrigeration cycle operates between pressures of 4 bars and 16 bars. Here, the pressures given as 4 bar as the lowest pressure and 16 bars as the highest pressure. Here, P1, P4 is 4 bar and P2, P3 are 16 bar. The air temperature after heat rejection to the surrounding is 37 degrees centigrade. The air temperature of the heat rejection to the surrounding, that is heat rejection process is 2 to 3. After heat rejection is the state point 3 is 37 degrees centigrade, otherwise 310 kelvins at point 3. And the air temperature at exit of refrigerator. This is the refrigerator or cold chamber. At exit means T1. T1 is 7 degrees centigrade. T1 is T7 or 280 kelvins. The isentropic efficiency of turbine and compressor are 0.85 and 0.8 respectively. Here, the efficiency of compressor and expander also given. That's why we are taking an actual process. This is the way 3-4 and 1-2 are the isentropic process. 1-2- and 3-4- are the actual process we should consider, because the efficiency of the compressor and expander is less than 100%. If the efficiency of compressor and expander are 100%, then we will consider the compression and expansion process are 1-2 and 3-4. If it is 100%, but the given values are 0.85, 85% for the turbine and 80% for the compressor. That's why we are considering actual process. This is the actual cycle. 1-2-, 3-4- is the actual Bell-Coleman cycle, and 1-2-3-4-1 is the ideal Bell-Coleman cycle without considering the efficiency of turbine and compressor. Clear, students? This problem is related to the actual cycle. Determine the compressor and turbine work per ton of refrigeration. What is the work consuming by the turbine, work consuming by the compressor, and work produced by the turbine for every ton of refrigeration, and also power needed per ton of refrigeration. What is the net power needed to the cycle or to the system per ton of refrigeration? This is the given TS and PV diagrams. PV diagram is like this. 1-2-, 3-4- is the actual cycle. 1-2-3-4 is the ideal cycle. Okay, here also 1-2-3-4 is the ideal cycle. 1-2-, 3-4- is the actual cycle. This actual cycle will be drawn by considering the efficiency of compressor and expander or turbine. T2 is the temperature of air at the end of the isentropic compression in compressor. T2-, the temperature at point 2- is actual temperature of air leaving the compressor. Because the efficiency is less than 100%, the work given to the compressor is more, the work required to the compressor is more. That's why the temperature rises in the compressor is also high when compared to the ideal process, that is the 2. T4 is the temperature of air at the end of isentropic compression expansion in the turbine. And T4- is the temperature, actual temperature of air leaving the turbine. the actual temperature of air leaving the turbine, because the efficiency of the turbine is less than 100%, 85% is given. That's why the work produced by the turbine will be minimized, will be less than the ideal process. That's why the temperature is somewhat rises, or pressure drop is less when compared to the ideal process. So 324 dash is the actual process. Dear students, we know that for isentropic process, for this process, we should find all the temperatures in the given cycle. Then only we can find the power and work required. Here, excuse me, 1 to 2 is the isentropic compression, isn't it? For this, we can use that adiabatic rule, adiabatic formula, T2 by T1 is equal to P2 by P1 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. T2 by T1 equal to this formula. P2 is the highest pressure, 16 bars is given, and P1 is 4 bar is given. 16 by 4 whole power 1.4 minus 1 by 1.4, we will get 1.486. This is the temperature ratio across the compressor. Therefore, T2 equal to T1 into 1.486. T1 is 280 is given in the problem. Then we will get the T2 value after compression. The air temperature is 416 kelvins. Clear, students? 416 Kelvin is the temperature of air, isentropic compression, after isentropic compression. But the compressor efficiency is less than 100% is given. That compressor efficiency is given as 0.8. Therefore, we know that the isentropic efficiency of the compressor is isentropic increase in temperature by actual temperature increase, actual rise in temperature. Here, the efficiency of the compressor will be taken as T2 minus T1 divided by T2 dash minus T1. Isentropic temperature rise divided by actual temperature rise from 1 to 2 dash. T2 minus T1 by T2 dash minus T1. From this equation, T2 is 416 kelvins, we calculated. T1 is 280 kelvins, they given in the problem. T2 dash, we don't know the parameter, minus T1 is 280, that is equal to compressor efficiency. From this equation, only the unknown is T2 dash, that is the temperature of the compression, actual compression. From this, we can get the T2 value as 450 kelvins. So after compression, the air temperature actually 450 kelvins. Then coming to the expansion process, similar to the compression, similar for isentropic expansion process 3-4 for this process. 3-4 is the isentropic expansion. We can use the adiabatic rule as T3 by T4 equal to P3 by P4. P3 is the pressure is equal to P2 and P4 is pressure equal to P1. Okay, therefore P2 by P1 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. T3 by T4 is equal to P3 by P4 or 16 by 4 whole power 1.4 minus 1 by 1.4. Same value as given as calculated in the earlier 1.486. This is the pressure temperature ratio across the turbine. So temperature ratio across the compressor, temperature ratio across the turbine is same. From this equation, T4 can be calculated as T4 is equal to T3 divided by 1.486. T3 value is given as 10 in the problem. T3 value is 310 kelvins. Therefore, T4 value is 208.6 kelvins. This is the lowest temperature in the cycle at which the air is applied to the cold chamber or refrigerator. Clear, students? So we know the T2 and T2 dash. We know the T4, we calculated the T4. From this T4, we can calculate the T4 dash. And isentropic efficiency of the turbine. Here, the turbine efficiency is also less than the 100%. Therefore, actual process should be considered. 324 dash. For this turbine, the efficiency of the turbine can be write as actual temperature drop divided by isentropic temperature drop. T3 minus T4 dash divided by T3 minus T4. Actual increase in temperature by isentropic increase. It is not increase, it is a drop in temperature. Actual temperature drop by isentropic temperature drop. T3 minus T4 dash by T3 minus T4. From this, turbine efficiency is given as 85%, 0.85. T3 is 310, T4 dash, we don't know that parameter, and 310 minus T4 is 208.6 kelvins, we calculated earlier, 208.6 Kelvin T4 value. From this, we will get the T4 dash as 223.8 kelvins. This is the temperature after actual expansion process in the turbine, 223.3, at which the air is supplied to the cold chamber. Clear, students? We know that the heat extraction extracted from the refrigerator or refrigerating effect. Heat extraction in the refrigerator or refrigeration effect, it is also called the refrigeration effect, is equal to MCP T1 minus T4 dash. Actually, per kg we are calculating, we are not taking the M value here per kg. CP into T1 minus T4 is the formula to calculate the refrigeration effect from the cycle, theoretical refrigeration effect. So CP value is taken as 1.005 kilojoules per kg Kelvin, and T1 280 minus 223.8 kelvins is the T4 dash. We will get 56.48 kilojoules per every kg of air circulation into the system. This much of heat can be extracted by the system. Mass of air flowing per ton of refrigeration per minute. MA. We know that heat extraction per minute, 210 kilojoules per ton. This is for every ton of refrigeration, 1 ton value is 210. Heat extracted per kg is 56.48. MA into heat extraction per kg is equal to total heat extraction per minute per ton. Therefore, we will get, this is the value I written here. MA is the mass of air circulated in the system, and heat extraction capacity per kg is 56.48. It is per kg. For every kg, 56.48 kilojoules heat can get extracted. But we know that MA is the mass of air. In multiplied by mass, 56.48 into mass, then we will get the total heat extracted per minute. Okay. The total heat extracted per minute per ton of refrigeration means 1 ton is equal to 210 kilojoules. That is equal to 1 TR. Therefore, from this, MA equal to 1 TR by 56.48. 1 TR value is 210. 210 into 56.48, then we will get the 3.72 kgs per minute for every 1 ton. ఒక ton produce చేయాలి అంటే we should supply the mass of air circulated in the system is 3.72 kgs per minute. Clear, students? This is the mass of air circulated. Then compressor work per ton of refrigeration. He asked in the problem, compressor work per ton of refrigeration. Compressor work formula is WC. The work consumed by the compressor is MCP into T2 dash minus T1. Why we are taking this formula? Because 122 dash is the process, actual process in the compressor. So M into CP into T2 dash minus T1 is the formula to calculate the work consumption by the compressor. Clear, students? So this is the formula, MCP into T2 dash minus T1. Temperature rise across the compressor is T2 dash minus T1. Therefore, MA is 3.72 kg per minute into 1.005 is the CP value for air. T2 dash is the 450 as calculated earlier. This is the 450 kelvins. And 280 is the T4 dash we calculated here. Sorry, T1 value is given in the problem, 280. So totally 635.6 kilojoules of heat, work can be done on the system per every minute. This much of work can be consumed by the compressor. Then coming to the turbine work per ton of refrigeration. Turbine work is equal to MCP into temperature drop across the turbine. Temperature drop across the turbine is from 3 to 4 dash. This is the 3 to 4 dash is the actual temperature drop in the turbine. So MCP into T3 minus T4 dash is given as work produced by the turbine. Work produced by the turbine is 3.72 into 1.005. T3 value is T10 in the problem, given in the problem, and T4 dash has calculated 223.8. Then we will get 322.3 kilojoules of work produced by the turbine per every minute. This work is supplied to the compressor, which is consuming 635.6 kilojoules per minute. Therefore, net work given to the system is work done. Net work done per ton of refrigeration is equal to compressor work minus turbine work. 635.6 minus 322.3. Then we will supply 313.3 kilojoules of work should be supplied for every minute to the system to produce 1 ton of refrigeration. Therefore, COP equal to heat extracted per minute divided by net work done. Heat extracted per minute per ton of refrigeration is 210 divided by net work given to the system is per ton of refrigeration 313.3. Therefore, we will get the COP as 0.67. It is less than 1. Okay. In this problem, the COP is less than 1. Then power needed per ton of refrigeration. Power required for the system per ton of refrigeration. We know that the work required is 313.3 kilojoules per minute. Divided by 60, we will get in kilowatts. 313.3 divided by 60 is the power per ton of refrigeration is 5.22 kilowatts. This much of power required to the system to produce for every 1 ton of refrigeration. We calculated all the values for ton of refrigeration. For 1 ton of refrigeration. Clear, students? This is the 4th example. We discuss in this class, 2nd example, 3rd example, and 4th example. I will discuss in this class 5th problem also. Then I will close the class. A dense closed cycle refrigeration system. What is meant by a dense closed cycle? Dense air refrigeration cycle or closed air refrigeration cycle is same. Working between 4 bar and 16 bar again extracts 126 megajoules of heat per minute per hour. It can be extracted the heat 120 megajoules of heat per every hour. So it is taken as Q, heat extraction capacity of the system. 126 megajoules per hour or 2100 kilojoules per minute. If you convert into kilojoules per minute like this, 2100 into 10 to the power of 3 divided by 3600 into 1000 by 3600, then we will get 2100. 3600 divided by 60. The air entering the compressor at 5 degrees centigrade and into the expander at 20 degrees centigrade. So T1 is taken as 5 degrees centigrade and T3 is 20 degrees centigrade. Yeah. Assume the unit runs on at 300 RPM. Total turbine and compressor runs at 300 RPM, which is coupled in the same shaft. Find out the power required to run this unit. Total power, how much power is required to the system to extract the 126 megajoules of heat per hour, and bore of compressor, the diameter of the compressor needed, and refrigeration capacity in terms of ice at 0 degrees centigrade per day. How much refrigeration effect produced? It should be represented in terms of ice per day. Take the following. The compressor and expander are double acting. Here totally related to the compressor topic because compressor and turbines are reciprocating type here we are using. Therefore, the compressor and expander are double acting and the stroke for the compressor and expander is 300 mm. Stroke means the length of the piston movement is 300 mm. The mechanical efficiency of compressor is 80%. The mechanical efficiency of expander is 85%. Assume the compression and expansions are isentropic. These are the efficiencies given, compressor and expander, and the speed of the compressor and expander was also given 300 RPM, and the length of the piston movement in the compressor and expander is 300 mm. This is the stroke length. Let us write down the given data, whatever the given in the problem. P1, lowest pressure is P1 or P4, 4 bar, 4 into 10 to the power of 5 newtons per mm square. Otherwise, we can take it as 4 bar. P2 is 16 bar. P2 or P3 both are equal, 16 bars. So 16 into 10 to the power of 5 newtons per meter square because 1 bar equal to 10 to the power of 5 newtons per meter square. And heat extraction capacity of the system Q, 126 megajoules per hour or 2100 kilojoules per minute. 126 into 1000 by 60, then we will get the 2100 kilojoules per minute. The air entering the compressor T1, 5 degrees centigrade or 278 Kelvin. Clear, students? And T3 is given as 20 degrees centigrade or 293 Kelvin in absolute scale. Speed of the compressor expander is 300 RPM. It is taken as capital N, 300 RPM. And stroke length capital L is 300 millimeters or 0.3 meters. Efficiency of compressor 80% and efficiency of expander is 85%, 0.85. This is a given data. From this data, we should calculate the power required to the system, bore of the compressor, that is diameter of the compressor cylinder, and refrigeration capacity in terms of phi. Let us discuss one by one. This is the PV and TS diagram for the given cycle. In this, T1 and T3 is given as 278 or 293 and 293. 278 and 293 temperatures are given in the cycle, T1 and T3. Here, the 1-2 process and 3-4 process is the isentropic. It is assumed as isentropic, PV power gamma equal to constant. So first bit is power required to run this unit. Total, how much power required for the cycle. T2, T4, the temperature at the end of compression expansion respectively. The compression expansion are isentropic, gamma value 1.4. We know that T2 by T1 by applying the adiabatic rule, T2 by T1. T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 whole power gamma minus 1 by gamma. That is 16 by 4 whole power 1.4 minus 1 by 1.4. We will get 1.486. From this, we will get T2 equal to T1 into 1.486, 413 Kelvin. The temperature after isentropic compression is 413 Kelvin. Similarly, T3 by T4 by applying the adiabatic rule across the turbine between the process 3 and 4, during the process 3 and 4, T3 by T4 equal to P3 by P4. Similarly, we will get the 1.486 again. From this, T4 is equal to T3 divided by 1.486. T3 is given as 293, then we will get the 190 Kelvin at 0.4. T4 is the 190 Kelvin. But this is the ideal cycle. The turbine expander efficiencies are given. We should consider the actual process. So we know that heat extraction from the refrigeration system per kg of air, Cp into T1 minus T4. This is the heat extraction per capacity or heat absorption during the cycle is during the process 4-1. During this process 4-1, heat is absorbed by the cycle. Therefore, how much heat is extracting by the cycle is equal to Cp into T1 minus T4, temperature rise across the refrigerator. So then we will get the 81 kilojoules per kg. 81 kilojoules per kg, per every kg, by taking Cp value as 1 here. 1 kilojoules per kg Kelvin or 1.005. The 0.005 value is neglected. Directly we will take, we can take the 1 value. So 81 kilojoules per kg of heat extracted by the cycle per every 1 kg of mass. Mass of air circulated from this formula, heat extracted per minute divided by heat extracted per kg. Heat extracted per minute is given as, heat extracted per minute is 2100 kilojoules per meter cube. Therefore, mass of air circulated is 2100 by 81. Then we will get the 25.9 kg of air required per every minute. This much of air is circulating in the system, circulating across the system. We know that the work done during the compression process 1-2 per kg of air, W12. Actually, we should take the actual process, not ideal process. But for ideal process, gamma by gamma minus 1, R into T2 minus T1 is the formula, or MCP into T2 minus T1 is the formula, divided by compressor efficiency. If we take the compressor efficiency, then we will get the actual compressor work, actual work required to the compressor. So ideal process, MCP T2 minus T1. Otherwise, this formula can be used in terms of gamma by gamma minus 1 into R into T2 minus T1. So 1.4 divided by 1.4 minus 1, 0.287 is the R value in joules per kg, kilojoules per kg Kelvin, into T2 minus T1 is the temperatures. Divided by 0.8 is the compressor efficiency is given in the problem. Then we will get the actual work needed to the compressor is 169.5 kilojoules per kg. Clear? In this problem, we are not taking the actual process, but while calculating the work, we are taking the actual process. This is the actual work needed. Work done during the expansion process 3-4 The ideal process is gamma by gamma minus 1 into R into T3 minus T4 is the ideal work produced by the turbine. But actual work produced by the turbine is equal to ideal work required and multiplied by the efficiency of the expander. Otherwise, efficiency is equal to ideal, that is the ideal work needed to the turbine divided by actual work needed to the turbine. Clear, students? Ideal by actual. Therefore, from this, the work produced by the turbine is minimized due to the efficiency. 1.4 by 1.4 minus 1 into 0.287, 283 minus 197 into efficiency of the turbine is given as 85%, 0.85. Due to this less efficiency, the actual work produced by the turbine will be minimized somewhat. 82 kilojoules per kg is the work produced by the turbine. Therefore, net work is 169.5 minus 82. Then we will get the 87.5 kilojoules per kg of work needed to the system. Net work needed to the system is 87.5 kilojoules per kg. And the power required to run the system. What is the power required? If we know the work per kg, then total amount of air is circulating is 25.9 kg per minute. Then total work is equal to 87.5 into 25.9 kilojoules per minute. MA into W divided by, if it convert into the seconds, by 60. Then we will get 37.8 kilowatts of power needed to the system. Total power needed to the system, 37.8 kilowatts. Then second bit is bore of the compressor or diameter of the compressor. How to calculate the bore of the compressor? If we know the volume before compression or at section of the compressor, then we can calculate the bore. Let D is the bore of compressor in meters. Since the mass of air supplied to the compressor at point 1 is 25.9 kg per minute. This is the mass of air circulated in the system or taken by the compressor. Therefore, its volume at point 1. Before compression, the state one is before compression, the suction point. It is the suction point for the compressor. Therefore, volume at that particular point state V1 equal to MA into RT1 by P1. Therefore, we know that the equation is P1 V1 equal to MA RT1. From this equation, MA RT1 by P1, MA is the mass of air circulated 25.9 kg per minute. 287 is the R value in joules per kg Kelvin, into 278 is the temperature at point 1, and the pressure given at point 1 is 4 bars or 4 into 10 to the power of 5 newtons per meter square, Pascals. Then we will get the volume 5.17 meter cube per minute. This is the volume flow rate of air into the compressor. For every minute, 5.17 meter cube of air entering into the system. We also know that the volume V1 is equal to pi by 4 D square. This is the volume, swept volume of the compressor. Pi by 4 D square L into 2. Double acting means this is the into 2. It is a double acting given. If it is single acting, pi by 4 D square L is the volume. That is the swept volume of the compressor. And 2 is the double acting or the double acting. This is the total volume of air taken by the compressor per revolution, for 1 revolution. N is the speed of the compressor. It is the revolutions per minute. Therefore, by multiplying N, then we will get the total volume of the air, total swept volume of the compressor cylinder per minute. Then equate to these two. 5.17 meter cube per minute equal to pi by 4 D square into L is the stroke length, 0.3 is given, and 2 is the double acting, 3 is the 300 RPM. Then from this, we will get 141.4 D square. From this, D square is equal to 0.037 or D equal to 0.192 meters or 192 mm. This is the bore of compressor or diameter of compressor. The swept volume is equal to volume flow rate. Then we will get the bore of compressor. The final refrigeration capacity in terms of ice at 0 degrees centigrade per day. We know that heat extracted or refrigeration capacity of the system per day is 126 into 24 because in the data, total heat extraction per hour. For every 1 hour, 126 megajoules of heat can be extracted by this system. For 1 day, it can be extracted 126 into 24. Then we will get total heat extracted per day, 3024 megajoules of heat can be extracted for every day, or 3024 into 10 kilojoules of heat can be extracted per every day. Since the latent heat of ice is 335 kilojoules per kg. Therefore, ice formation capacity of the system. If this much of heat can be extracted, then what is the ice formation capacity is 3024 into 10 cube divided by 335. Then we will get the mass of ice produced by this system. This system use cheyadam valla enta ice produce avutundi anedi then latent heat of ice to divided cheste we will get 9000 kgs of ice can be produced by this system. Given system is used to produce 9000 kgs of ice, or 9 tons of ice. Clear, student? This is the latent heat. Latent heat per day is 3024 10 cube kilojoules, but latent heat of ice is 335 kilojoules per kg. For every 1 kg, 335 kilojoules of heat required, but total amount of heat is extracting this much. Therefore, total amount of ice produced is 9000 kgs, or 9 tons of ice can be produced. Clear, students? And last one is a homework problem. Solve this problem by your experience, as earlier I said. This is the problem, and the answers are given in the below. Solve this problem and compare your answers by this answers. Okay. Example 6 is the homework problem. Try it in the home and compare your answers. Let us close this class at this point. These are the objective type questions. I will give in the material these objective type questions. Okay. Bye, students. Have a nice day.